reasonably done, but I also want to use the border-to-border project and reforms to open up for more providers.
Could I just,
Peggy,
one
yeah,
follow-up?
absolutely.
Just a follow-up, well then, can you explain, my understanding is that thus far, because there has been some funding,
Sure.
thus far, none of it has ended up down here, and so why is that?
Yep.
Given what you're saying, if that's the goal, why hasn't that happened?
And that's entirely frustrating. You had 2 grant projects that did not get funded this last time around. And that's why we need to push for another round of funding. It's a competitive process. And the only thing I can say there is, I know how frustrating it is, and I hear this in all the areas, but the best thing that we can do is put a process together that's competitive and allow your area to come back and reapply. Now, I know you had 2 areas that did not get funding through LTD Broadband and Ascentech. And we had a $10 million funding this first year, and we had $19 million that wasn't funded, so we'll come back and we'll look at those apps again. Here's the frustrating thing, and I have to be honest with you, this takes time. And it takes time to get grants, and then once grants are awarded, it takes time to build these out. So the good news is we have more people looking at this problem with the federal, the private, look at all the private providers you have, and the state, so we're all looking at it. But here's the thing, once those projects are awarded, sometimes they take 9 months before you even get fiber in the ground because right now we're frozen. So, you know, we have the element, we have all these things to fight, and so I know it's not easy to hear, but I can tell you the cavalry's coming. It's just going to take us a time to get to everybody. So, Peggy, you're right on, and I hope this answers it, but I'm for subsidies used wisely, I'm for reform, I'm for helping the private providers, and I'm for using federal dollars to supplement. I'll use whatever resources I can to get connectivity out to our homes, if that helps.
Peggy?
Well, I think I've had enough.
Does that help?
Let somebody else ask a
Oh,
question.
okay. And, you know, everybody that's here, this is an issue, the makeup of state government right now is we have a DFL governor, Governor Dayton. We have a DFL Senate, Republican House. And I'm hoping that this is an issue that can transcend party. And I think it is. I really think it is, because this is something that we need to look at for everyone. And if you would, for just a second, or down the road here, Governor Dayton's had some pretty major surgery, and I've been contacted him and so forth, wishing him the best. And I hope you could just say a little prayer for Governor Dayton. He had, it's not easy surgery that he went through, and he's, it'll be a while for recovery, but he's out now. He was 6 days in the hospital. He's out now and taking physical therapy. So keep Governor Dayton in your prayers. We need to get him back healthy. So with that being said, yes, name and who you'd like to address the question to.
My name's Benita Underbaki, outside a little village called Lanesboro. Is there any way that the state government can help get funding right now for when there's a road improvement and they're digging up the roads anyway, to put the tube in, get the infrastructure in, so that the private companies, when they come in to say, well, it's this turn now on our staging effort, don't have to say, we can't dig because it's inconvenient. If the new construction or the fussing around with the roads have already got that in, it seemed like that would make it simpler. And if it can't come from the private companies that are doing their individual plans, why can't our state government just take the lead and make it easier?
Sure. So there's a couple of things. And I was just in conversation with Representative Emmer, the CD6 congressman, and the feds are pushing this, and we've done it in Minnesota too. It's a dig once policy. The idea that once we come in with any type of infrastructure, we should be running these wires as well. And
So, and when is it going to happen? If the smarties are talking about it, why isn't it happening now?
Well, and remember, it is happening. It's just not all over. We have a finite amount of resources. I mean, I could go home tomorrow and I could write up a bill, but we're not going to see a road come through your town in 2 weeks. I mean, Representative Davis knows the speed at which we move down there. So we're trying to line all this stuff up, but remember, fiber may not be the best way to get to you. There's wireless providers that if we can get those towers up and we can get this going, we can turn it on for you very quickly. You know the speed at which it takes roads. So we're fighting all these things. I hear your frustration. Bonita, you're right on, and believe me,